Welcome to Commsverse. This session is called What is the Reality of Migrating All Your Users to Cloud Telephony? And today we will have two presenters, Mr. David Smith and Miss Diana Floria. Have a wonderful session. It's all you, David.
Thank you. Over the next 25 or 30 minutes, we'll discuss why you should and how you should migrate to cloud telephony. Pure IP will focus on Microsoft today as the cloud telephony platform. We've been providing hosted and cloud telephony solutions around the globe for over 15 years, and we would like to share our experience and knowledge with you. So we'll go into what is cloud telephony, why are businesses choosing cloud telephony and at such a fast pace? Are there any challenges? How to overcome the challenges, if there are any, and considerations when deciding to move to telephony. Legacy PBX telephony solutions are generally installed on customer sites or on premise. And over time, businesses have ended up with various vendor PBXs on different sites within their distributed telephony infrastructures. These disparate systems require individual management and support, which can be costly and difficult to ensure standardization across the business. However, cloud telephony is off-premise and is a solution that's based on centralized communications and management. With cloud telephony, there's no requirements for business to have hardware on site and no such requirements to support or maintain them. The only thing you have to do is administer your own service. Cloud telephony is usually a consumption-based model in that you pay for what you use. It's an OpEx model, and therefore you don't need to acquire or capitalize any hardware for your global telephony solution. Microsoft Teams is a great example of a cloud telephony solution with licenses, call plans, or direct routing as a service being billed on a monthly user basis. Why cloud telephony? As previously mentioned, cloud telephony is a centralized solution, and with this comes a simplification of management and control of the infrastructure and the bonus of reduced costs. For example, reduced capital costs and reduced indirect costs. System management can be expensive for businesses with distributed multi-vendor on-premise solutions. Probably one of the biggest reasons, other than cost reduction, for moving to the cloud is the immediate agility and flexibility a business can enjoy. With the outbreak of COVID-19, we experienced a major increase in customers moving to Microsoft Teams, and that was because Teams is an integrated application within Office 365 with the ability of employees working from home. That was critical for keeping individuals safe and our businesses running. In reality, you can operate Teams anywhere with a connection to the internet. Cloud telephony and Teams in particular proved its worth against corporate business continuity plans during this difficult period. So what are some of the challenges? We talk about cloud-first strategies, but in reality, most businesses will operate in a hybrid mode, where some key applications will remain on-premise and will integrate with their cloud applications. An example might be where a business has Microsoft Teams, but also has a contact center on-premise solution and a call recording in another vendor cloud. The integrated solution will work perfectly, but would be considered a hybrid cloud solution. This flexibility allows businesses to migrate over time to a cloud-first strategy, and this is where our experience can assist with managing the overall migration. Diana will now take over to discuss other challenges that's worth considering, and more importantly, how you can overcome them. You might be on mute, Diana.
Diana, if you'll try to unmute just one more time.
Here you go. Better now?
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Dave. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Taking over from where Dave left off, here at PRP, we do believe that although there are quite a few challenges, it is possible to achieve 100% user migration to the cloud. Although I don't really like starting my presentation with the negative side or with highlighting problems, I do think that it's important to recap some of the main challenges that companies are facing when migrating their telephony to the cloud. The first two entries on my slide are security, regulatory, and compliance requirements. And for majority of multinational big companies, this is probably one of the most difficult challenges to overcome. And this is because for companies with multiple offices around the world, they have different requirements regarding data encryption, call recording, emergency services, and those requirements are different per country, per region, or also differ based on the markets and the business sectors. Another big challenge for big multinational companies is geographic coverage. This is a big challenge because of the requirements of all end users utilizing the same phone system, regardless where they are, regardless if they work from the office or nowadays from home, but also the necessity of the requirement for companies to consolidate some of their invoices and to reduce the number of local providers that they're using. When migrating to a new phone system, you want your end users to be on board. So you want to you want to be able to replicate all the features that they currently have on their current phone system and improve them. But also you want to be able to integrate with other third-party applications that they're already using and that they require in order to do their job. One of the other challenges is network capacity and bandwidth. This is probably not such a big requirement nowadays or such a big challenge nowadays, but for multinational companies with complex infrastructure, with internal MPLS networks, with different data centers and offices, sometimes even with centralized breakouts to the internet and not local connection, optimizing the media path for calls is extremely important, and sometimes it is a challenge. The last thing you want is for your calls to be routed between, for the media, for your calls to be routed between Asia and US and back to Asia, for example. Call quality will not be too good in that case. Now that we have highlighted some of the challenges that companies will face when migrating to the cloud, let's see what we can do to overcome these challenges. So the first thing you need to do, as they've explained, is choose the right cloud telephony platform. And Microsoft Teams is the preferred choice for our customers, and it is the preferred choice for us here at PRP because it addresses many of, or actually most of the challenges that we've described in the previous slide. If your company is already using Microsoft applications, and this includes Microsoft Teams for collaboration, then I guess moving to the cloud is a no-brainer and it makes real sense. And moving to Microsoft Teams makes real sense because then you can leverage your existing licenses, your existing knowledge. You can use your existing team to support the new telephony platform. There are also other advantages, as Dave explained, of migrating to Microsoft Teams. Security, compliance, dynamic E911 requirements for North America, for example. Those are some of the advantages. Also, they are probably one of the telephony platforms with the widest geographic coverage. And also in terms of third-party applications, more and more applications are now available in the cloud and they are integrating with Teams. Besides choosing the right telephony platform, Microsoft Teams in this case, choosing the right telephony service provider or providers, it is very important. From the research we've done so far, no single cloud-based provider has a solution which covers all the countries and for most national companies, or all the features required in order to migrate to one single product. In terms of telephony, most cloud providers have concentrated on developing more features and have left the PSTN voice integration as an add-on or as a third-party application, or just a license requirement. In terms of coverage, Microsoft Teams is probably one of the most complete platforms available out there, but even they only cover, I believe, up to 12 countries for PSTN replacement at the moment. This is where the service telephony providers like PureIP come into picture. And PureIP, service provider like PureIP can complement the Microsoft services perfectly. One, by extending the geographic coverage. We at PureIP can support up to 38, we can support at the moment 38 countries for PSTN replacement, with 3 more on the roadmap for this year. But also our knowledge in terms of SIP and legal and regulatory requirements for countries is a big plus. We've been in the SIP provider business for over 15 years, and we can help you design, implement, and roll out the migration to the cloud and the solution going forward. Also, finding a provider like PureIP that is agile and flexible will help you integrate your current phone system with the cloud solution that you have, facilitating the migration between on-prem and cloud. Now that you have the telephony platform and you have your provider, the next step that you need to do is actually work with that provider to come up with the approach that works best for your company and with the right migration plan. And working with the right global provider like PureIP can allow you to combine a traditional SIP trunking with the direct routing services and design a solution that is compliant for each country where you're based. In this case, the users can reside in cloud, but the telephony can stay local if this is a regulatory requirement. And this is what we call a hybrid solution. In a hybrid solution, the service providers like PureIP can provide and support the centralized SBCs for Teams direct routing, but can also provide fully managed services for SBCs on site, where this is a requirement. Another requirement is maybe leveraging your existing MPLS infrastructure, and service providers like PureIP can help leverage your current MPLS infrastructure by utilizing the new feature called media optimization on Teams certified SBCs. This will allow for improved media path. And as we explained before, this is sometimes a big challenge for big multinational companies. Since direct routing also allows to utilize your existing numbers or your existing carriers, and in some cases existing certified SBCs, you may be able to deploy this in a staged rollout and focus on different batches of users or different offices, and managing to balance the users across both the old platform and the new platform. The new slide explains the hybrid solution a bit better. This is an example of a company that has multiple offices. In this case, I just chose a few offices in Europe, one in US, and then one in India. And it highlights the difference between a cloud, pure cloud solution and a cloud and on-prem solution. Service providers like PureIP will can provide the hosted SBCs for Teams direct routing and will remove the need for additional hardware on site for countries where we can provide PSTN replacement, in this case, European and US countries. There are some countries out there where having an SBC on site, a centralized SBC on site, is not possible because of local requirements. And in this case, PureIP can, for example, provide a local SBC. PureIP will provide a fully managed service for the local SBC on site. We can source the SBC, install it, configure it, maintain it, monitor it going forward. And that SBC will act as a bridge between a local provider on site and Microsoft Teams, and will help with keeping the media local. Besides choosing the telephony provider and the telephony platform, other considerations when migrating to Teams are described in this slide. So when migrating your telephony to the cloud, consider all application and all requirements like call center, call recording, attendant consoles, fax, complicated network infrastructures, MPLSs, and so on. Working with a specialized service provider like PureIP will help you integrate these other telephony requirements into a full package, a full managed package, so you can achieve 100% migration to the cloud. My last slide is pretty much a conclusion or a summary of what we've discussed so far. Yes, we believe that we can achieve 100% user migration to the cloud, but you need to take in consideration first, you choose the right platform for you. You choose the local service, the service provider for you, and then you work with that service provider on a strong migration plan, and you can then achieve 100% user migration to the cloud. That's all from me. If there are any questions, I guess the Q&A is now open.
Thanks, Diana.
At this time, we don't have any questions. However, any of the attendees, if you would like to speak with David or Diana following the session, you can find them in the breakout area, and I'll go ahead and post that link now. But while I do that, if you do have a question, feel free to go ahead and type that in the Q&A. And we'll give you just a minute to do that if you have any questions. And it looks like you both did such a wonderful job. No one has questions for you. But thank you so much for presenting today. Here's the link for the breakout session. And have a wonderful rest of your day or evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.